Sorry, I had so many things happening today. Water ran out, this, that, and the snake came in the room, in the bathroom. So many things happened. Sorry. Okay. Let me share. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. So Lord Chaitanya is still speaking in Prayag to, same thing, Varanasi Prayag to Srila Sanatana Goswami, and he's talking about the mantra from Pancharatrika Vidhi. Mantra Adhikari, Mantra Siddhi Adi Shodhana, Diksha Pratah Smriti Kritya Shaucha Achmana. So we did that last week. So I'll just do a quick thing and then we go to the main verse which Srila Prabhupada refers to in the purport 15.108, Madhya 15.108, and that's what we will take up. You should discuss the qualifications necessary for receiving a mantra, the perfection of the mantra, the purification of the mantra, initiation, which is Diksha, Diksha initiation, morning duties, remembrance of the Supreme Lord, cleanliness, and washing the mouth and other parts of the body. So this is according to the Pancharatrika. And Srila Prabhupada then explains more. Shudras and women who are chaste and sincerely interested in understanding the absolute truth are qualified to be initiated with the Pancharatrika mantras. So that's how I say these are all Pancharatrika Vidhi, and Hari Bhakti Vilas is also, a lot of it is from so many Pancharatrika, Narada Pancharatrika and everywhere. So based on these, I am saying these are Pancharatrika Vidhi, which Lord Chaitanya was explaining. And then we know that if one actually wants to serve Krishna, if one is sincerely eager to chant the Hare Krishna mantra or the Diksha mantra, he is qualified to be initiated according to the Pancharatrika process. So there was one, I can take the devotee's name because he is auspiciously he has left this body and gone back to Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, Yasho Mathinandan Prabhu. No, he used to, when all these guru issues were going on, so much confusion, in the moment. He used to tell me the formal initiation is all, no, the second initiation is Pancharatrika Vidhi. And it stuck with me. I was saying, Srila Prabhupada never differentiated between the two. It's only when, but I didn't have any backing for it. But here, when I first read this, then I understood, oh, no, he was wrong. Both Hare Krishna mantra, formal initiation, and there's a distinction between Hare Krishna mantra chanting, because Lord Chaitanya has told it, and then we hear from Srila Prabhupada, and then we get inspired from Srila Prabhupada to hear and sorry, to chant Hare Krishna mantra. And then there is a formal and then also the Bhagavata Vidhi where we surrender consciously, no, I want to serve what Srila Prabhupada is saying, do what Srila Prabhupada is saying. He is perfect. I want to follow his instruction and I want to chant 16 rounds. That one should do once before the formal. That's the right way to do it. And the formal is through the Pancharatrika process. So there are two distinctions. And in this, Lord Chaitanya is talking about the formal initiation, which is very important, which is the way of doing initiation in the Ramanuj Sampradaya, in the Madhva Sampradaya. I don't know about the Vallabha and the Nimbak. I don't know so much. According to Vedic principles, only a Brahmana who is fully
Prabhuji,
engaged.
sorry. Can I just ask you a question on that, if you don't
Yes.
mind, or ask everybody actually? It says, if one is sincerely eager to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra or Diksha Mantra, he is qualified to be initiated. So is it saying he is qualified? How is he qualified? Well, according to Pancharatrika, someone is qualified, or is it being said that yes, he can be initiated under the Pancharatrika process? There's two different things.
That's the first level of qualification. Eagerness. Then they have to meet certain other criteria according to the Pancaratrika Vidhi. Like we just heard previous verse, one has to test the spiritual master tests the disciple. All these things there. We went through that qualifications.
No. I'm not sure if you understand my question. To come back to that text,
Yeah.
the sentence states that if one is sincerely eager to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra Diksha, he is qualified to be initiated. Okay, let's stop it there. He's qualified to be initiated. Then it says, according to the Pancharika process. So my question here is, this according to the Pancharika process is saying, do you get me?
In
Should I continue?
Bhagavata process, without the sincere eagerness, also one is qualified. Is that what you are meaning?
No, I don't want to refer to anything else.
Okay.
Just right here, what does this sentence actually mean? Are they saying that we can initiate them and using the Pancharika process, or is it saying that according to Pancaratrika, this person is qualified to be initiated? Do you get my question?
Oh,
It's like if I say, okay, I can be initiated, then somebody may say, okay, according to what? And I say, well, according to Pancharika process, I can be initiated. I'm qualified.
okay.
So that's saying that the Pancharika is saying that I'm qualified by this or that. Or I'm gonna say, yeah, I want to be initiated. Okay, so what process, what ceremony should we use to initiate you? We should use the Pancharika process of initiating you. Do you get me?
I'm a little fool, Prabhu.
All right, anybody else understand me?
So are you saying that because we have these kind of two initiation or two-step initiation, that like first step is not Pancaratrika process?
Actually, I'm not asking about
Yeah.
first or second step or anything. I'm just this particular sentence. I'm trying to understand what it actually means.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it seems like it has two meanings.
Right.
One of them.
I also question that
Right.
exactly. Go ahead.
No,
Maybe
go
ask
ahead.
again. No. Go ahead so that I understand you again. So maybe.
Okay. If one is sincerely eager to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra or the Diksha Mantra, he is qualified to be initiated. Let's full stop there. And then the last part, which is what I want to get clarification about, according to the Pancaratrika process, are we saying that the initiation system, the initiation ceremony should be done as described by Pancharika? Or are we saying that this person is qualified to be initiated under whose authentication, under whose approval, under the approval of Pancaratrika process?
Well, I'm sure you have a distinction in mind. I don't have that subtle intelligence to.
No, I don't. I'm not. I'm when I read it, I see there's two meanings, two possible meanings, and I can't.
Someone else can explain, please.
So what I see is like how do we qualify, or how do we know that someone is eager to chant the Hare Krishna mantra or Diksha mantra? So, and
That is the spiritual.
just seeing that sentence, that's why I said that's what I'm, because the whole question, right, from Nima Pandit Prabhu was that that also the first initiation is already according to Pancaratrika process and not only the second initiation, right? So that was like the beginning statement or the beginning question, because forgive me, Yashomatinandan Prabhu said that basically only what we call the Brahman initiation is according to the Pancaratrika process and not the first Hare Krishna Mantra initiation, right?
Yeah.
So basically this is what it's referring here to. But yeah, so of course you can understand, you can understand these sentences in like two ways. It could mean if you're sincerely eager to chant the Hare Krishna Mantra, which could be just the initiation into the Hare Krishna Mantra, then, and you did this for like the 6 months, then you're qualified to get the kind of real initiation according to the Pancaratrika process and become like a Brahmin. So you potentially could understand this sentence like this as well. Or it just means you are eager, so you want to chant, so that the spiritual master, that's where, okay, you stay 6 months to a year in the temple, spiritual master or his representatives get to know you, and then you're eager, and then you get first initiation, which is already according to Pancaratrika process.
Yes.
It can be both.
Someone is raising hand.
I think we have Gauranga Sundara Prabhu. Haribol.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Tanmay Pranam,
Hare
Jai Shri
Krishna.
Prabhupada. See,
Right.
the first initiation can be Pancharatrika or Bhagavad Vidhi, but the second initiation has to be Pancharatrika Vidhi, because that is how you are qualified to chant the Gayatri mantra and Hare Krishna. So that has to be Pancharatrika Vidhi. That cannot be Bhagavad Vidhi. It has to be Pancharatrika Vidhi. The first can be Bhagavad or Pancharatrika, depending on the initiating spiritual master. But the second is always, the whole process of Gayatri, everything is followed in that as per the Pancharatrika Vidhi and given. And that's why Prabhupada is saying only a sincere person who is, because you have fire sacrifice and everything is there. Only those person who deem fit by the Guru is given or should approach for the second initiation. Otherwise, others should just chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And even that, obviously that will take you back to Godhead. So that is what it means, I think.
Yeah, good. Balaram Prabhu?
Yeah, I know. It seems like devotees are trying to explain something else, and I'm just specifically asking about the meaning of this sentence, actually. It seems, anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay.
No. Maybe you could just give like the first idea and, then we discuss it and then the other option, so that you don't put both options together and it becomes more complicated.
Yeah, I mean, just what I'm trying to understand, actually, what Prabhupada is saying here. If one is sincerely eager to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra or Diksha Mantra, he is qualified to be initiated. Okay, we all understood that clearly. Now, this part, 4 next letters, according to the Pancaratrika process. So it means we should initiate him according to the Pancaratrika ceremony, the way it says to do it. Or is it just referencing? Is it being referenced that yes, he can be qualified, and that is according to my guru, or that is according to John? No, it's according to the Pancaratrika process. That the Pancaratrika process validates.
Okay, I understand.
Get
okay.
me?
Yeah, I know. I see.
Or that the law 0411 says that,
So it says, according to Pancaratrika process, we can initiate you now, but we use a different process to initiate you. So we don't use Pancaratrika process, but according to Pancaratrika process, you're ready to be initiated. But now we still use a different process. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm not even talking about a different process, because here there's no mention of different process. I just, according to the Pancaratrika process, what does that mean?
He's now qualified.
Okay,
he's
we got
qualified
that. We already got he's qualified. So now the sentence, according to the Pancaratrika, is it saying he's qualified according to this law, according to this person's authority, or no, we initiate him using this ceremony?
Yeah, that's actually what. Yeah, exactly. Basically,
the context. No, the context is the one which is coming from the Vedic system. The Varnashrama is the Vedic system. Pancharatrika is taking the essence out of the Varnashrama system, and Bhagavata Vidhi taking even that essence out, kind of. So here, Srila Prabhupada, no, when he is talking in this context, it is related to the Vedic injunction that only Brahmana should be initiated. So this whole thing is all about how even Shudra Vaishya women can be initiated because of this verse 932. Then in the Pancharatrika Vidhi also it is mentioned that how um, Shudras and women can be initiated as long as they are eager to be initiated. That's all the purport is of this. If you keep reading, according to Vedic principles, only a Brahmana who is fully engaged in his occupational duties can be initiated. Shudras and women are not admitted to a Vedic initiation, which is according to the Varnashrama system, which we see, and there were many like 12 year of age, the boy is initiated, and that's how a Brahmana, Kshatriya, and most Kshatriyas and some Vaishyas. Shudras were never initiated. So Shudras and women are not admitted to a Vedic initiation. Unless one is fit according to the estimation of spiritual master, one cannot accept a mantra from the Pancharatrika Vidhi or Vedic Vidhi. That is there in both the Vidhis. But in Pancharatrika, when one is fit, it doesn't matter which Varna one is initiated. But in Vedic, not. In any case, the result.
Yes, like it's like that only. Like hey, Harinam anyone can get, whether any varna. But if you want to be initiated into Brahman Diksha, then through the Pancharatrika Vidhi, if you want to be, then you have to be qualified Brahmana.
Yeah.
Qualified Brahmana to get that initiation, second initiation, Brahman initiation, as per Pancharatrika Vidhi. Only a qualified Brahmana can get that. Others cannot, if you so either you qualify become you develop the qualities of Brahmana or you are a Brahmana, then you are, eligible to get the initiation. Anything less than that, you're not eligible to get the second initiation. That is what I understand.
So then on that topic, we see the practical application that Srila Prabhupada, I heard and read and saw many times that he initiated even females immediately in first and second initiation when there were no pujaris to take care of the deities. So from what I see just externally, of course, internally, I don't know what's really there, but these most of these ladies were not qualified brahmanas, but Srila Prabhupada needed it, the mission needed it, and had to use whatever was available, and he gave first and second initiation immediately to, of course, for men also he did it, but even, let's say, even for ladies, and they were immediately put into Pujari service. So,
Not even Shudras, no?
huh?
Malichas, Yavanas.
Exactly, yeah, lower than Shudra. So,
Maybe that's why, in the later years conversation of Prabhupada mentions this, that everyone doesn't have to be Brahmin initiated.
Yeah.
Only those who want to worship and who are qualified, they should be given. Prabhupada mentioned in his Varnashram talks, that
Yeah.
everyone in our movement doesn't have to be Brahmin initiated. So obviously initially the requirements were different. Then we had a movement, we had people now boiling the milk. It's like boiling the milk. Now let's boil the milk, and now only those people who are qualified should be given Brahmin initiation. That is what Prabhupada in the later years, if you see his conversation, it points to that.
okay. So if I can ask a follow-up question to this, which is not related maybe to Guru Tattva, is because this is one of the main things I have seemingly struggled with, is like, okay, we see time, place, and circumstance. Now, in our own, let's say the Prabhupada group, time, place, and circumstances, we're basically in 1965. We don't have practically any devotees almost. Let's not count India, Bangalore. Around the world, there are no places, no temples, no groups, really, very, very little. So being at that, if I take it, if I'm wrong, correct me, but if I take it that we are at that stage of our development and growth, then we should be applying things the way Prabhupada applied at the beginning of his establishment of ISKCON, right?
Not really, no? Why? Because devotees are matured, no? So many. So many. Srila Prabhupada is creating so many devotees around whom we don't even know. I have personal experience, Prabhu. When we were traveling, I'm talking about even 25 years back, 23, 24, 25 years back, when we had a traveling Sankirtan party on the east coast of US and Canada. I remember we would meet devout people, like there was 25 years after Srila Prabhupada disappeared. See, now it is 50 years. So I remember 25 years, I mean, in those time, we would meet devotees who have never met any devotee. They were devotees just because of Srila Prabhupada book. Somehow they got, they've been practicing. I mean, Srila Prabhupada is, and they're becoming such good, like children of Srila Prabhupada. So from that, I understood, my God, Srila Prabhupada is like training people whom none of us know all around everywhere. The books have gone out and he's training them so much. And then when the right association is there, they also need association, but better than bad association. Then he sends them to the, to the right association.
But where
Even
are they?
they are
Where
there.
are they now in the Western world? I mean, but
They're there in their homes.
I don't see any formation
Go on.
coming together of groups.
No problem of formation, anything. Srila Prabhupada controller, no. See, if you go in many of these YouTube, Srila Prabhupada's chanting or lectures or anything, you see, if you see the comments, that is the reason I sometimes go and just when I'm sitting there, I just see the comments section. People from all walks of life, some of them are so devoted to Srila Prabhupada. Like they have no, like they're no organization, nothing. Some of them become real devoted to Srila Prabhupada, real appreciation. You can see they are surrendered to Srila Prabhupada in their own life, in their own places they are there. Prabhu, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of these kind of people. I have no doubt in my mind at all that there are, because of my own experience 25 years back, and there was no social media, nothing at
Okay,
that
but
time.
now, am I right in what we're saying is, as far as what Gauranga Sundara Prabhu just mentioned also, is like, okay, if you're going into deity worship, that's when we will need to
Yeah.
do the second
Yeah.
initiation, more or less, because I was told the same, no need second initiation, unless you're going to get into Pujari service, blah, 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 deity worship. So when we want to form an organization in the West, ISKCON, let's say, right? If we're saying that
Why
this
do we
ISKCON
form?
that,
Why do we need to form? It's not us now.
because that is the mission of Prabhupada, to
What
form an
he
organization, develop an organization.
why?
What do you mean, why?
I mean, why? Why does he want an organization?
We all know why,
I mean, it's for devotee association.
of course.
So the point is that this is exactly what we are going to be discussing now. This is such a crucial point we are discussing, whether formal initiation is required or not.
Of course
When,
it is.
yeah, so what is that? Because Hare Krishna mantra can be chanted without initiation too.
Of course.
108, Srila Jiva Goswami is saying and then explaining why. So, I mean, we can go to that verse directly now because I think that's see, Srila Prabhupada.
Just before we go there, just to complete this. Okay. Organization, Srila Prabhupada worked so hard, and we all know how much Prabhupada
Why
focused
did he do
on.
it?
Okay, wait a minute, relax there. We all know that Srila Prabhupada worked so hard and did so much to establish an organization. The reason for that organization is to give association. With association, devotees can get enthusiasm to do more, to do bigger things, to get faith, get the strength, but especially enthusiasm, right? And keep on going and won't fall back into their old habits, blah, blah, blah. So
I
an
don't
organization.
I don't think that what you're saying is
Yeah,
bad.
okay, you can correct me after. Okay, let me
Enthusiasm is
finish.
not the, yeah.
You can correct me after. Okay, the sadhu sangha is fundamental as far as I see and I experience in our spiritual life. So part of that association is deities, devotees, temple, place to come and live with devotees rather than live by yourself in this. So as far as trying to bring together and formulate an organization to give sadhu sangha, Prabhupada showed us in his example, 1965. He laid out everything. So there's even no need for us to speculate anything about this or that, but it is important. So we do want to bring devotees together. We want to form more unification with devotees, to have centers, to encourage more devotees to come to. This is fundamental. And fundamental reason why we haven't grown the Prabhupada Nugas outside of India, Bangalore, is because of this main reason. We have been unable to come together for many different reasons.
So yeah, so this is, I mean, overall what you're saying, I love, and I have last 20 years, that's what I've been doing. But the reason of association is the first of all the taking the proper shelter of Srila Prabhupada, and then properly like becoming a
How can you take proper association with Prabhupada if you don't have association?
Prabhu, that's very easy for a soul. Naturally, Krishna from heart directs how to take shelter. I know I took shelter of Srila Prabhupada without any devotee association. I was told about devotees and Krishna and Srila Prabhupada and his philosophy, but by devotees, but on my own I understood. Oh, then I went up to Srila Prabhupada and said, Srila Prabhupada, I want to follow what you are saying. Many devotees I know, many devotees I know, same way they understand it. This is when left alone, and I am telling you about devotees whom I met while traveling Sankirtan 25 years back, before all the YouTube and all these things. They surrendered to Srila Prabhupada by understanding what Srila Prabhupada is saying, because in the heart, Krishna is inspiring them to surrender. So they're taking shelter. Now that has to mature. Adau Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. That Sadhu Sangha matures it, so that one becomes eager to take initiation, meaning taking fully, trying to follow his instructions, trying to purify fully, and actually coming to the platform of Brahmin if he is capable enough or he is intellectually this thing. So to go further. And that is what in this verse it is being described. Why? Maybe we can read this and we see otherwise nothing else is required, only chanting is required. Because his Hare Krishna mantra is so powerful, according to Bhagavata Vedi. Diksha Purushcharya, maybe somebody can read this verse.
Can I, Prabhu?
Yeah.
दीक्षा पुरश्चर्या विधि अपेक्षा न करे जिह्वा स्पर्शे आ चंडाला शबरे उद्धरे. Synonyms: Diksha, initiation; Purascharya, activities before initiation; Vidhi, regulative principles; Apeksha, reliance on; Na, not; Kare, does; Jivva, the tongue; Sparshe, by touching; Achandala, even to the lowest of men; the Chandala; Shabhare, everyone; Uddhare, delivers. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. One does not have to undergo initiation or execute the activities required before initiation. One simply has to vibrate the holy name with his lips. Thus, even a man in the lowest class, Chandala, can be delivered. Purport: Srila Jiva Goswami explains Diksha in his Bhakti Sandarbha 283. Divyam Gnanam Yatho Dadhyat Kuryat Papasya Sankshayam Tasmat Diksheti Sah Prokta Deshikhais Tattva Kovidhehe. Diksha is a process by which one can awaken his transcendental knowledge and vanquish all reactions caused by sinful activity. A person expert in the studying of the revealed scriptures knows this process as Diksha. The regulative principles of Diksha are explained in the Hari Bhakti Vilasa 234 and in Bhakti Sandarbha 283 as stated. Dvijanam anupethanam स्वकर्माध्यायानिदेषु यथा अधिकारो नास्ति स्याज् चोप नास्तिकस्याः अचोपन्यानात् अणु तथा तथारा आदेशितानां तु मंत्र देवार्चनादिषु नाधिकारोऽस्ति अथ कुर्यात् आत्मानं शिव संस्तुतम्. Even though born in a Brahmana family, one cannot engage in Vedic rituals without being initiated and having a sacred thread. Although born in a Brahmana family, one becomes a Brahmana after initiation and the sacred thread ceremony. Unless one is initiated as a Brahmana, he cannot worship the holy name properly.
Yeah, this is where Srila Prabhupada will explain. Yeah.
According to the Vaishnava regulative principles, one must be initiated as a Brahmana. The Hari Bhakti Vilasa 2.6 quotes the following injunction from the Vishnu Yamala. Adikshitasya Vamoru Kritam Sarvam Nirarthakam Pashuyonim Avapnoti Diksha Virahito Janaha. Unless one is initiated by a bona fide spiritual master, all his devotional activities are useless. A person who is not properly initiated can descend again into the animal species. Haribhakti Vilasa 210 further quotes Atho Gurum Pranamayaivam Sarvaswam Vinivedhyacha Grihniyad Vaishnavam Mantram Diksha Purvam Vidhanataha. It is a duty of every human being to surrender to a bona fide spiritual master, giving him everything body, mind, and intelligence. One must take a Vaishnava initiation from him. The Bhakti Sandarbha 298 gives the following quotation from the Tattva Sagara. Yatha Khanchanatam Yathi Kashyam Rasa Vidhanataha Tatha Diksha Vidhanena Vijatvam Jhayate Nidam. By chemical manipulation, bell metal is turned into gold when touched by mercury. Similarly, when a person is properly initiated, he can acquire the qualities of a Brahman. The Hari Bhakti Vilasa 17, 11, 12, in discussing the Purascharya process, quotes the following verses from Agastya Samhita. Puja Traikaliki Nityam Japastarpanam Evacha Homo Brahmana Bhuktischa Purascharanam Uchyate Ghurur Labdhasya Mantrasya Prasadena Yathavidi Panchangopasana Siddhai Puraschaitat Vidhiyate. In the morning, afternoon, and evening, one should worship the deity, chant the Hare Krishna Mantra, offer oblations, perform a fire sacrifice, and feed the Brahmanas. These 5 activities constitute Purascharya. To attain full success when taking initiation from the spiritual master, one should first perform these Purascharya processes. The word Pura means before and Charya means activities. Due to the necessity of these activities, we do not immediately initiate disciples in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. For 6 months, a candidate for initiation must first attend Arati and classes in the Shastras, practice the regulative principles, and associate with other devotees. When one is actually advanced in the Purascharya Vidhi, is recommended by the local temple president for initiation. It is not that anyone can be suddenly initiated without meeting the requirements. When one is further advanced by chanting the Hare Krishna Mantra 16 rounds daily, following the regulative principles, and attending classes, he receives the sacred thread, Brahmanical recognition, after the second 6 months. In the Hari Bhakti Vilasa 17.457, it is stated, Vina yena na siddhaha syan mantro varsha shather api kritena yena labate sadhako vanchitam phalam पुरस्चरण संपन्नो मंत्रो ही फलध्यायकः अतः पुरस्क्रियां कुर्यात् मंत्रविद सिद्धि कांक्ष्या पुरस्क्रिया पुरस्क्रिया ही मंत्राणां प्रदानां वीर्यम् उच्यते वीरहीनो यथा देहि सर्वकर्म कर्मसु न क्षमः पुरस्चरणहीनो हि तथा मंत्रः प्रकीर्तितः. Without performing the Purascharya activities, one cannot become perfect even by chanting this mantra for hundreds of years. However, one who has undergone the Purascharya Vidhi process can attain success very easily. If one wishes to perfect his initiation, he must first undergo the Purascharya activities. The Purascharya process is the life force by which one is successful in chanting the mantra. Without the life force, one cannot do anything. Similarly, without the life force of Purascharya Vidhi, no mantra can be perfected. In his Bhakti Sandarbha 283, Srila Jiva Goswami states, Yadhyapi Sri Bhagavata Mate Pancharatradi Vat Archana Margasya Avasyakatvam Nasti Tad Vinapi Sharana Apitya Adinam Ekatarenapi Purushartha Siddher अभिहितत्वात् तथापि श्री नारदादि वर्तमानसंदर्भिः श्री भगवता सह संबंध विशेषं दीक्षा विधानेन श्री गुरुचरण संपादितं चिकीर्षाद्भिः कृतायां दीक्षायां अर्चनम् अवश्यं क्रियेतैव. Of similar importance is Diksha, which is explained as follows in Bhakti Sandarbha 284. यद्यापि स्वरूपतो नास्ति तथापि प्रायः स्वभावतो देहादि संबंधेन कर्दया शीलानां विक्षिप्त चित्तानां जनानां तत्तत् संकोचि करणाय श्रीमद् ऋषि प्रभृतिभिर् अत्राचरण मार्गे क्वचित् काचिन् मर्यादा स्थापितास्ति. Similarly, in the Ramarchana Chandrika, it is stated, Vineva Diksham Viprendra Puraschharyam Vinaivahi Vinaivanyaya Vidhina Japamatrena Siddhida. In other words, the chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is so powerful that it does not depend on official initiation. But if one is initiated and engages in Pancharatra Vidhi, deity worship, his Krishna consciousness will awaken very soon and his identification with the material world will be vanquished. The more one is freed from material identification, the more one can realize that the spirit soul is qualitatively as good as the supreme soul. At such a time when one is situated on the absolute platform, he can understand that the holy name of the Lord and the Lord himself are identical. At that stage of realization, the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Mantra, cannot be identified with any material sound. If one accepts the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra as a material vibration, he falls down. One should worship and chant the holy name of the Lord by accepting it as the Lord himself. One should therefore be initiated properly according to the revealed scriptures under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master. Although chanting the holy name is good for both the conditioned and liberated soul, it is especially beneficial to the conditioned soul because by chanting it, one is liberated. When a person who chants the holy name is liberated, he attains the ultimate perfection by returning home back to Godhead. In other words, in the words of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila 773, Krishna mantra haite habe samsara mochana. Krishna nama haite pabe Krishnera charana. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, one can obtain freedom from material existence. Indeed, simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one will be able to see the lotus feet of the Lord. The offenseless chanting of the holy name does not depend on the initiation process. The offenseless chanting of the holy name does not depend on the initiation process. Although initiation may depend on Purascharya or Purascharana, the actual chanting of the holy name does not depend on Purascharya Vidhi or the regulative principles. If one chants the holy name once without committing an offense, he attains all success. During the chanting of the holy name, the tongue must work. Simply by chanting the holy name, one is immediately delivered. The tongue is Sevan Mukha Jiva. It is controlled by service. One whose tongue is engaged in tasting material things and also talking about them cannot use the tongue for absolute realization. Atha Sri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grihyam indriyehi sevanmukehi jivvadau swayam eva spurahi adaha. According to Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 17:134, Atheva Krishnera Nama Deha Vilasan Prakritendriya Grahya Nahe Hayasva Prakashaha. With these material senses, one cannot understand the transcendental holy name of the Lord or his form, activities, and pastimes. However, when one actually engages in devotional service, utilizing the tongue, the Lord is revealed.
So, Rancho Prabhu, you want to give a little essence? What you understand?
I mean, there are many points discussed here that importance of the initiation, the Purusharya with the process, and chanting without offenses. So even anyone born in any caste, not just being a Brahmana, they can chant, and only they are qualified and they are initiated, and anyone can be initiated. Like this, so many points have been covered here.
Yeah. This is the main point. No? The chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is so powerful that it does not depend on official initiation. But if one is initiated and engages in Pancharatrika Vidhi deity worship, this Krishna consciousness will awaken very soon. And his identification in the material world will be vanquished. Because without the identification of material world vanquishing, one cannot realize that the holy name is non-different from the Lord.
This is my practical example. I mean, like practically, I have experienced this point, Prabhu, in New Jersey. That is where exactly I was initiated. I was put into the deity worship, and I was not much into the deity worship. I have learned there itself, and I was taking care of the deities from morning to night, 10:30. Morning 4 starts, and then I used to cook. I used to clean the plates. I used to do the arati alone. I used to clean the arati plates. Everything I was taking care of. So initially, I felt like very burden, feeling like, initially it was very enthusiastic. Then later on, I felt like burden. I couldn't understand. I felt like, your Prabhupada, you gave me too much of responsibility, And this is, I'm very new like that. But later on, I realized later on that, then I actually took it more seriously after that initiation and that deity worship. Before that, I was not really that serious. I was just practicing, that's it. But after that only I took it like, whatever it is, I have to just continue it in my life, fighting with my parents and all, after that.
Mhm. So, what happens is two ways. One is deity worship when one is doing, and chanting according, understanding. First is understanding who is the bona fide spiritual master, taking proper shelter of him, understanding him as good as God, and all of those four aspects of shelter that we have been talking about, and then trying to follow his instructions, hearing from him. In that environment, this Panchatrika Vidhi very soon will awaken. Krishna consciousness will awaken. It's not like just by deity worship alone without the other things, those other things. But if one is doing all that and then doing deity worship too, then it is very fast will awaken. Otherwise, it will be slower if one doesn't go through this process because of all these issues, and other places Srila Prabhupada explained even more the difficulties one will face, why one should do deity worship, and to remove those difficulties fast for faster this thing, faster result. So that's why we see so many people, like I was mentioning, I've seen many devotees around. I mean, here they're just by reading Srila Prabhupada books, chanting, they're surrendering Srila Prabhupada, not organization, nothing. They are progressing. It will be slower, that's all. But because the chanting of Maha Mantra is so powerful, Shravanam and Kirtanam, hearing from the pure devotee, is so powerful that it is going to purify. Without this too, because holy name is so powerful, so powerful. But that's why Srila Prabhupada wanted to do ISKCON as an organization, because first of all, propagation of the books and can't happen without a organized. The knowledge cannot happen without organized way. So you can't even have people practicing in their homes unless there is a organized effort put in. And second, then that association, people are getting Srila Prabhupada's association through his books, but so much confusions are always there, like philosophy confusions, and all these Purushcharya Vidhi, Panchatrika Vidhi, which will help one go faster, and also how to become a sincere disciple of Srila Prabhupada, the first stage. That all by seeing one can do faster, so much faster it is. But it is not like necessity for the holy name and the hearing of the Bhagavatam. Like if because in these circumstances, still going on the moment, slower but still going on. Srila Prabhupada is preaching on his own. And now with this social media, YouTube, it is so much easier to associate. It's not fully. I found like online association can take you to from no association to online association is so much important. But then for the full effect, you need this association physically too, like Ambrish Maharaj is saying, touching the body of the devotees. What do you all think
Agree, Prabhu.
about what?
I mean, online association to one extent it is helping definitely, but that physical presence and association makes much more sense, like what you said. So I said I agree with the point.
Hmm. There are many other places. Let me bring it. So to really,
As
yeah.
far as like association with devotees, like I was saying before, we live it, we see Prabhupada stating it, and we know the importance of it, that it really is such a powerful aspect of Krishna consciousness and our progress is to be in the association of devotees. So when you say there are thousands of people following Prabhupada nicely and blah, 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 I really have my doubts, because why do I have my doubts? Anyone who's following Prabhupada nicely, they have to come, in my understanding, will have to come to the position that I should be with other devotees. we should come together to be able to push more together rather than just me having my deity at home. I wake up, I do my deity worship, I go to work, I come back, I offer something to the deity, sleep, and just live by myself in that way. You know, if you're following and reading and chanting nicely or reading nicely, you will have a huge push that I can't do anything much myself. I have to somehow get together with everybody, somehow come together. You know, you've been pushing for years and trying to bring awareness, better awareness, more mature awareness into Varnashram communities and establish Varnashram. So that basically means the main reason for all that is better association, devotee association, to facilitate all what we just read. So really, a good question to ask is, if we're not in, as Ranjit Prabhu just said and you said, if we're not in physical association with devotees, what happens to the process that we're applying, chanting and reading? If we're doing that so-called alone, because I do also agree that associations definitely we're getting the best and tons of it with Prabhupada and other devotees within the books, the Goswamis and so forth. But still, you know, as conditioned soul, Prabhupada recognizes and understands very clearly we need physical association. Otherwise, he wouldn't have used so much energy, money, devotee power to make, build, collect money for temples.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that clearly shows how important it is.
So you can see the verse is very clear. One does not have to undergo initiation, execute the activities required before initiation. One simply has to vibrate the holy name with his lips. So what one is doing is Srila Prabhupada is explaining the whole perspectives that
Can I just add, sorry, can I just add one little thing that everybody be conscious, the context, this is Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is the PhD level, and we're finding this sentence. So this is not really a sentence for a new person.
yeah. So but when one is when one is designing the society again, let's say, like we're trying to figure out how a society should work or not work and how to look at the moment now, these are very instructive. No? So holy name is Krishna. He can purify anywhere, anything. He doesn't depend on anything. We have to agree and accept and be like faithful of holy name that something happens, no emergency. He alone is sufficient completely. Because that's our acharyas have told us again and again. Now, but then Srila Prabhupada is saying, Jiva Goswami is explaining but part, qualifying it, that for generally it is not recommended. You go faster, you can reach the offenseless chanting faster by doing certain activities, which is by associating with devotees to develop, the first and foremost is to get a pure devotee who can explain to you, who can teach you, who can uplift you, who can remove the sins. All these things are what a pure devotee does. And so Bhagavata Vidhi initiation is the first which is recommended. And then he goes on to say about even the Panchatrika Vidhi, how it is required for removing the material identification. And because I have little bit benefit of reading, like researching this particular topic exhaustively for a few months, I was so what I suggest is one time if we can read through some of the other places where Srila Prabhupada has explained this point, and he quotes and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati explaining and his reasoning, and to really come to understand why it is that even though holy name is sufficient, he is applying all these things with the organization. And then also what I was saying, that because the organization has become corrupted, now he is keeping many devotees away from that association through this principle that holy name is sufficient. Also, I have seen myself I have seen everywhere devotees are there.
Sorry, you do have to say that that's your speculation, right? The sentence about Prabhupada is keeping devotees away from that association.
Personally experienced it, many devotees who, one devotee, I'll tell you how it happened. I was in Long Island temple. One devotee comes to me. He comes and bows down to Srila Prabhupada in the temple room and to the deities. Then I was watching him. He was so devoted to Srila Prabhupada. He was standing there looking at Srila Prabhupada and everything. I talked to him and he says, I'm a professor in a college on Long Island, an hour away. Oh, what are you professor of? And we started talking and he started explaining that actually he came in touch with Srila Prabhupada books 25 some years back in the late 70s. I said, oh, which temple did you go to? And he said, no, I didn't go to any temples. Why? I came here once. I didn't like the devotees. What I was reading in Prabhupada books was not, I didn't see that. So and they told me, you have to take initiation from somebody here. I said, what is this? Srila Prabhupada is my guru. So I never came back. I thought, I don't know what happened to the movement, but Srila Prabhupada, I've been happy. And then he came because he needed a book. He couldn't buy the book online. So he called them up that, oh, I need a book. They said, and he couldn't find it. So in a book, it was written. Then he remembered, oh, there is a temple again. So he was passing by. He said, okay, let me go and see if I have a book. Then he met me and I said, no, now this thing is Prabhupada is the spiritual master. He was so astounded that really, this is also possible in the moment like that. He's a professor, he's teaching students, and then he called me and he was teaching the whole Bhagavad Gita to them. Like a whole course is about Bhagavad Gita, Krishna consciousness, how from the nectar of devotion. I am blown away, Prabhu. He's devoted all his life to serve Srila Prabhupada, like dedicated, fully dedicated to Srila Prabhupada. He doesn't think of anything else as his motive than that. Then another devotee I met. You won't believe, Prabhu. We met one
But then,
devotee.
sir, just to ask, then where is the fruits of this preaching, let's say, or the
Is this not
thousands of
the fruit of
devotees?
devotee?
Why aren't they coming together? Why aren't they manifesting some way?
Not Srila Prabhupada and Krishna, however they want to do it. I don't.
But
Once
we know they want us to come together.
in
We
the
know
right
that for
time,
sure.
right? So that is why we need the organization structure. There is no structure. Why would somebody come and there is no structure? Then again we'll fall away, no? Then fight each other and go away. I mean, there has to be some reason to. Are we good enough to give association? I feel like what kind of thing people come to, no? So
Wait a minute. Okay, so take that what you just said exactly and wrap it around what Prabhupada did in 1965. He manifested an organization immediately, full of us.
the pure association, no? That's where we keep going back to the 6 to 7 months what we have been discussing, how to really take shelter of Srila Prabhupada. He was doing it in practice. Devotees were coming and they were able to take shelter of him. Now they are not. People are not trained by association.
But you just gave us an example where a man took full, nice shelter.
On his
Yeah,
own, from his
yeah,
Srila Prabhupada. He
yeah.
went
So
through
it's there.
so much trouble. He explained later on, he explained me so many problems he went through, which may not have been there if the temple and everything was very nice. But he survived. He's preaching for Srila Prabhupada. He's dedicated.
So how come we're not coming together? If we're correctly positioned,
Not no.
clearly we have
We
to
are not
say that Krishna would bring him to you, to me, to us,
no.
together.
We are not qualified right now, Prabhu, to have these kind of devotees associate with us. I have come to this conclusion. We are not qualified right now. That's why we have to come together and make a good association. Like we can't even run a proper.
We need to come together first to get that. You're taking the other way. You're opposite. You're saying, no, we have to become qualified separately, alone. Then we can come together. No, we come together to burn in that fire to become qualified. It's the opposite.
So apart from this, I'm trying to work on the Varnashram college, all that is from that point of view, that then there'll be a structure in which they can fit. Right now, they are situated well. like so many people are situated well, some are not situated well. Of course, there are all different levels. And I mean, I can tell you so many devotees, even in New York and going around, so many people I've met, Srila Prabhupada is training them at different levels. And at different times, he then sends them in the association. Prompts, Krishna prompts from the heart, now you associate. Or with this devotee you associate, or don't associate. And it's going on without us. I don't know the answer to what you are exactly saying.
We are talking about 48. Is it 48? Something like 48 years have passed. Basically speaking, we don't see much coming together in the West.
Coming together is, that's why you see me doing all the devotees were asking, oh, where are the devotees in the Varnashram college, all these things, and in the ISKCON organization, trying to do. That's why I do it, because I know Srila Prabhupada is training people all around the world. And when we are qualified, then he will push them there. So, because personally, I've seen, experienced, and then I became convinced that this is the reason why he wanted devotees to distribute his book so far and wide.
But Prabhuji, sorry, I hope you don't mind me asking. In Prabhupada's time, thousands and thousands were being sent to new people following, accepting Prabhupada. New. They hardly knew anything, but still they're coming together, somehow tolerating each other, burning together, serving together. So how come now, with so many devotees with so many years of experience serving Prabhupada separately away from, so they're strong, and how come we're not being sent together and not coming together in the West? It doesn't make sense that in Prabhupada's time,
framework is not there, Prabhu. Framework.
what framework?
Srila Prabhupada established the framework, which is first is the shelter of him properly, which was automatically happening by seeing devotees who were taking shelter, which was broken. The biggest issue is that. Second is even the organization shelter is not there, and the organizational framework is not there, and the preaching framework is not there.
I mean, if I just give you an example, like Bliss in London, Germany has Mathurapati Prabhu. In Jaipur, we have some groups. The other one I know is just in Arizona, I think, Ramachandra Prabhu. I mean, everybody kind of knows the structure and organization and how it just starts, let's say, almost organically by the association of Prabhupada desire to serve him. That, I mean, it's happening. You know, I don't get, it's a kind of different topic, sorry, that we're going into, but it's like, I don't get it when you say there's no structure. Every book is a structure, and anyone who reads it will get inspiration about the structure of Prabhupada and can preach, is preaching, and bringing difficulties together. But my specific question is, these devotees have been around and they're so nicely fixed up in Prabhupada. Why aren't we seeing them? Why aren't they coming together? The real reason, I mean, there's no structure.
The reason, no? So when I'm saying the structure of, let's say, the organization structure, these devotees are preaching, but that is an independent preaching, no? There is no structure around it, no? Who is monitoring them, supervising them, these leaders too? Who is also giving them?
That will come naturally as soon as.
But they themselves together, they are not able to work.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
that is the structure also, no? That's part of the structure. There is no overarching organization which is bringing them together and supervising, and there's a mechanism. All these things have to come. Like,
does this mean we're not nicely fixed up? Because if we were, we would be surrendered to that.
Definitely, no. This Kali Yuga means whenever there is division, it's because of Kali is present. Otherwise, just by hearing from Srila Prabhupada, we would all want to work together. There is no doubt about it, no. And the scriptures are very clear. Now, if it could be controlled in an organization format, even Kali can be dispelled by having a organization, because Srila Prabhupada instruction protects us then. I mean, it's not like a material organization we make. We follow Srila Prabhupada's instruction again in that organization, then again we get protection from Kali. And And so if one is not surrendering to Srila Prabhupada's instruction and organization, then it will be like this. Kali will be there present. We are so weak against Kali. So it's just like that devotees won't come together unless. That's why you see me going after the ISKCONing so much. So I don't see this happening till these kind of framework and everything starts coming together. What was there even in 71, 72? That is what I'm aiming for, the 71, 72 framework, which is not currently there. Plus the Varnashrama system, because the devotees have matured, like families and older devotees and everything. And so we have to add the 72, 71, 72. Why I'm saying 71, 72? Because till that time Srila Prabhupada was directly involved and the envy wasn't there in the devotee. But after that, the envy started coming in and he started talking about it. And then he became more and more aloof from that whole thing, whole association. So in his mood, in his lectures, conversations, I see in his interaction with devotees, I see more and more he took on more of a regal emperor distance, that kind of mentality. So and but so so 71, 72 is what my focus is till 71, because before 70 is his personally he is managing and everything, but now we cannot manage like that. But 70 he set up the GBC, but it didn't implement it, and gradually it was implemented. But the problem was he started implementing the GBC and they were developing envy too. So I don't want to take that kind of example when they were so he was setting up many of the rules or many of the regulations and instructions to ward off the envy from these leading disciples. So we can't take that also. So that's why I'm kind of in the middle of 71, 72 plus Varnashrama system also added in it, so that other devotees who can't practice chanting 16 rounds, four agreed principles so well, getting up in the morning, they could also associate with the devotees and come up, but who are sincere, who are innocent, who want to improve, they want association to improve, they can also be in that. So that has to be added to it. That would be the framework. Now, to do that, how to do that is the whole, struggling with this for years.
So to correct my picture if I have it wrong, it seems like clearly in Prabhupada's time, he cultivated preaching, he cultivated devotees. And after getting numbers, let's say devotees, then the need naturally, organically arose for structure and then eventually GBC. If you have 10 people, there's no question of GBC, right? So it seems like that is the natural way to go, but tell me if I'm wrong. It looks like from our point of view now, from you, you're saying, let's get the structure sorted and organized. And then by having the structure, those thousands of people that are hiding in mountains, they will come, right?
Not hiding in hiding in plain sight. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
same thing.
yes, yeah, exactly, bro. And not just
So
devotees, new devotees are also being trained. I mean, you can go in YouTube, Srila Prabhupada's lectures or Srila Prabhupada's chanting. Go in the comment section. I inspire you all to go in the comment section. Keep scrolling down and reading. You will see what I'm speaking about. Yes, Prabhu?
yeah, so I wanted to say, I think also, so the main problem that we face in the movement, right, is that for hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of people, love and trust is broken, right, over and over again. So just now, right, so there's another cycle of losing trust. Many people, many devotees in the movement, in their current structure, and And why did this happen? So it didn't happen that tens of thousands of people ran away from the movement when Srila Prabhupada's wish and will was manifested in the exact structure how we wanted everything to run. And it is a very intelligent structure as well, right? It's not just a random structure. I read in a book, let's just build a trust and let's build a non-profit organization. It's just what the lawyer told me. No, it's like a very, there's a really intelligence behind that, right? So why he set up certain things and why he didn't set up a centralized structure like we have now. And so then back in the day, love and trust was still there amongst the devotees. So the organization was holding this the association together and was not a substitute for love and trust, right? But then as soon as 77, end of 77, they started to corrupt the structure. First thing that happened was breaking the love and trust bond between devotees, and the first devotees already went away, and following year already, right, thousands of devotees went away, all the property disciples went away, new disciples were initiated, reinitiation, all this already happened right from the beginning. What to speak of now, right? And then over and over, with every fall of a sannyasi, the trust was again broken, right? So there's a lot of people who actually devotees who want to do something, but their trust is so shattered, right? What to speak of Guru Kulis, etc. So I also really see that, bringing a really understanding also the difference why Prabhupada's structure framework is working, why it is really protecting from, how it is protecting from the influences of Kali, of the Kali Yuga. This is basically a rebuilding of the trust, right? So people can really identify again, right? So as long as this is not really there, then it's just like everyone is on his own because the trust is not there. So who can I trust, right? If even that's so big, but because they don't really also understand. I just had a talk or conversation on the weekend. So where I could see that, yeah, of course, these topics is so many devotees are kind of in they don't know about these things, right? So they really still have kind of a belief that, yeah, this is kind of Srila. So if I say something like, oh, there's this BBTI and you have BBT and BBTI, this is even for devotees who are there in the movement for 40 years, it's a complete news, right? And even for devotees who try to already, check around what's going on, why is this happening? So it's a complete news for them because they always consider it's like, this is just a legal thing. Call it BBT, call it BBTI. What is the difference? Of course, there's a huge difference, right? The whole book changes can only happen because of BBTI, basically, right? And right, and that's why I also think really it's so important to really get this framework together, and then I also would say it will be the tool to rebuild the trust of thousands of devotees who are already out there, But they have to come to this understanding as well, They have to really understand because now they just basically also the trust to Srila Prabhupada is kind of broken. Like, oh, Prabhupada, how could you set up a structure like this, or is it possible that we have all these abuse cases and all this is happening, in your name? Yeah, okay. What can you do? If you have traitors from the beginning, your own disciples basically, or a couple of them really betray you from the beginning. What can you do, right? So no structure can help you, no organization can help you. Only love and trust can help you. And it was really everyone was basically betrayed by just a couple of people. That's how it is. So rebuilding it will also rebuild this trust, and then suddenly, I also would say, suddenly thousands of devotees will show up and come together. I think it really is a crucial thing.
Have faith in Srila Prabhupada's oft repeated instructions, distributing books. There is a reason why he did that. Millions and millions and millions.
And here's the other point, because you said why do we focus on that? We could just, give it away for free, like Prabhupada did 1965, so everyone was invited, I mean, this was in the beginning of the movement. Now we learn from that. So why repeat similar? I mean, sure, we could probably do it a little bit, better, so to say.
Sorry, can you
But
just
why?
clarify what do you mean by give free? What was that about? I didn't understand that. Give what
No,
free?
I understood. So I understood. That you were like, okay, why not just action and bring people in, new people in, just come together and don't focus too much on qualification or something. Was it not what you intended to say formally? Not at all. Okay, then I misunderstood you. But yeah, definitely. So yeah, right. So we cannot really, we don't need to repeat the beginnings because we already saw what happens and what is the chronology of events. So and we see what worked, what didn't work. So we just go back to the working framework. And yeah, I also would say like probably it's really the beginning of the 70s, basically in time where the first GBC conspiracy already took place, just before in this time frame, right? So that's where it really still worked pretty well. And from then on, you saw already these influences came in because too much money, mishandling of money, all this, and then envy started. I mean, I just couple weeks ago, I read all the how Prabhupada managed money just from the conversations in the Shikshamrita, they put all this together and you really can see that in the beginning it's like really small amounts and suddenly at the end it's like huge amounts of money, right? Which translated in today's terms probably is like, I don't know, tens of millions of dollars in purchase power on a monthly basis. It's a really huge organization at that point already. And naturally, people were like, oh, we know better how to manage this. We help Prabhupada to manage his money because we know better, how to manage it. And then it's how it started, right? And you see how they basically scramble, and try to, as soon as it comes to, okay, who is executor of the will, who gets what, everyone is there to get the piece of the pudding, And that's why then you see this is already the beginning of the end. So 1971, 72, as Nima Pandit Prabhu said, like it's probably really the better focus point for the framework.
And different devotees would do differently. I just personal liking for Srila Prabhupada when he is like he seemed more free and open till 70, 71 in the West especially. And then when the first of those or first couple of times when these envious things happen, then I see he became more aloof and more regal and more emperor-like and wanted more respect so that they don't commit offenses. And but certain devotees would like that mode. There is nothing wrong at all in that, and they love to have Srila Prabhupada in that mode. So that is that mood aspect. But as far as ISKCON organization is concerned, uh, that we can discuss about it. 74, he started to have especially in the US, he started to have temples go away from ISKCON Inc., form separate organizations and run separately, not under ISKCON Inc. So you have to see how it was. But the BBT was established in 72. So we'll see. So that period, 72 to 74 is 71, 72, 74. I don't know. So anyway, so point is about Hare Krishna mantra being alone at this time. It is sufficient. Srila Prabhupada, his books with the holy name encoded within that, they are also sufficient. It's a slower process. Whenever I talk to these devotees whom I have been mentioning that they are there practicing just with Srila Prabhupada books, they always have difficulty. It's not easy job to do on one's own. No, good, but and it is rare. It's not like hundreds and thousands you will find on the street in one city and like that. But US is so huge and so many books have been distributed here. So many. It's just unbelievable number of books have been distributed. And they're like time bombs, as Srila Prabhupada says. No, they're in time they produce result. And so I really feel that when the time is right and we are more qualified and we have a structure framework, then definitely what this verse is saying, Srila Jiva Goswami is saying, for normally it is required. With the right association and the Panchatrika Vidhi and the temple and everything for easy progress of Krishna consciousness, and chanting offenselessly. But without that also it is possible. It's not dependent on all of us. Srila Prabhupada is not dependent, holy name is not dependent on us to get our act together. They are not waiting. They are not important. So let's keep going on this topic, why it is required and why we should try to build it for their satisfaction. So there's this nice instance similarly, 15103 to 108. Before coming to 108, there is this, let's read that. Why Lord Chaitanya is saying this thing. (1503), okay. Satyaraj Khan said, "My dear Lord, being a householder and a materialistic man, I do not know the process of advancing in spiritual life. I therefore submit myself unto your lotus feet and request you to give me orders." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "Without cessation, continue chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna. Whenever possible, serve him and his devotees, Vaishnavas." Upon hearing this, Satyaraj said, "How can I recognize a Vaishnav? Please let me know what a Vaishnava is. What are his common symptoms?" 106th verse, Prabhu kahe. So beautiful. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "Whoever chants the holy name of Krishna just once is worshipable and is the topmost human being." I should read it later. 107. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, one is relieved from all the reactions of a sinful life. One can complete the 9 processes of devotion service simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. 1 second. And then the 8 comes. One does not have to undergo initiation or execute the activities required before initiation. One simply has to vibrate the holy name with his lips. Thus, even a man in the lowest class, Chandala, can be delivered, Lord Chaitanya says. And the next verse is, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one dissolves his entanglement in material activities. After this, one becomes very attracted to Krishna, and thus dormant love for Krishna is awakened. This is the context in which Lord Chaitanya spoke this verse 108. Oh, 1010 is also there. Let's read that 1010. The holy name of Lord Krishna is an attractive feature for many saintly liberal people. It is the annihilator of all sinful reactions and is so powerful that save for the dumb who cannot chant it, it is readily available to everyone, including the lowest type of man, the Chandala. The holy name of Krishna is the controller of the opulence of liberation, and it is identical with Krishna. Simply by touching the holy name with one's tongue, immediate effects are produced. Chanting the holy name does not depend on initiation, pious activities, or the Purushcharya regulative principles generally observed before initiation. See, this is what is happening now in many devotees. The holy name does not wait for all these activities. It is self-sufficient. Padyavali 29 by Srila Rupa Goswami. So, in Muslim countries, this is how you would apply this first. Nothing else required. Just the holy name and Srila Prabhupada's words, which are equal. You don't have to make a whole thing.
But this is going on in ISKCON also? This is applicable there?
I mean, it's applicable everywhere. No, any sincere devotee, anyone who chants holy name can come. Problem what happens is they go negative with the bad association, and then the holy name disappears. In terms of offenseless chanting is not possible. Very few are able to do. But holy name is so powerful that it can break through everything with the sincere chanting. Just by hearing and chanting, hearing and chanting. Hearing every mantra and chanting gradually, holy name himself purifies all the offenses also. Self-sufficient. See, Lord Chaitanya, Lord is saying he is self-sufficient. Nobody can say anything more after this.
But you just said that the holy name disappears.
I mean, these are offenses, no? When you commit. See, sincerity and hearing and chanting sincerely, like really hearing and chanting, properly worshipping the holy name one is doing, then it will happen. Mostly does not happen. Generally, it does not happen. Generally, we need association. Generally, we need to, especially there are 10 offenses. No, if we commit offenses, then it will be tough. But the first and foremost issue is the offenses in holy name can also go just by hearing. Really, everything being heard will take longer time because of the offenses, but gradually holy name himself will start purifying, and then gradually change the consciousness of the devotees, and they will come to the right platform then. It's not that they will continue giving offenses to Srila Prabhupada and other thing. So, holy name will purify and correct the consciousness.
Can I ask you a little bit of a controversial question? So this sentence itself, the text itself just said that anyone who chants even once is considered to be topmost human, like that. So then we have devotees in ISKCON who are chanting. I see them, you see them, everybody sees them. And then we're being critical, judgmental on them, or say so many things about them. Are we in danger of falling into Vaishnava aparad, devotee aparad, because they're chanting the holy name, regardless of other stuff? Are we putting ourselves in some kind of...
Well, here is what Lord Srila Rupa Goswami himself says about this. No? And Srila Prabhupada, why I'm saying so, because Srila Prabhupada in that same purport is referring to this verse, Krishneti. Let us go back there. I'm sorry I jumped. 1 second, let us. Madhya 15:10.
Because the first offense, right, against the holy name is to blaspheme someone who has
That's a very good
dedicated their
question.
life.
Very good point. But let us see what the acharyas say about it. 7. Eka Krishna name kare sarva papa kshaya nava vidha bhakti purna nama haite haya. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, actually once, right? One holy name of Krishna. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, one is relieved from all the reactions of sinful life. One can complete 9 positive devotional service simply by chanting the holy name. Once. Yeah, it is here. Whoever chants the holy name of Krishna just once is worshipable and is the topmost human being. So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur says that simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna once, a person becomes perfect. Such a person is understood to be a Vaishnava. With such faith and belief, one may begin a life of Krishna consciousness. But an ordinary person cannot chant the holy name of Krishna with such faith. This is confirmed by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Updeshamrita, Krishneti Yasya Giri Tam Manasandriyeta. So this is the verse, text number um, 5. So that's why I went there to text number 5, Nectar of Instruction. Uh, if you can remember this, Krishneti Yasyagiri Tam Manasendriyata, right? He doesn't write the number, but it is this one.
But can we just continue reading that CC and then go to Nectar of Devotion?
Because he doesn't. Why don't we read once and I'll come back? You will see why I go there, because he explains very clearly this thing. Srila Prabhupada is assuming we know that kind of. Krishneti yasya giri tam manasendriyata. This is the first verse, first line of this verse, text 5. So, which he talks about dikshati, dikshasti, chet pranatibhischa bhajantam isam. So, one should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Lord Krishna. One should offer humble obeisances to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation, diksha, and is engaged in worshipping the deity. And one should associate with and faithfully serve that pure devotee who is advanced in undeviated devotional service and whose heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others. In the purport, then Srila Prabhupada explains, in order to intelligently apply the sixfold loving reciprocations mentioned in the previous verse, one must select proper persons with careful discrimination. So we are asked to discriminate carefully, by the acharyas. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore advises that we should meet with the Vaishnavas in an appropriate way according to their particular status. In this verse, he tells us how to deal with 3 types of devotees: the Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari. The Kanishta Adhikari is a neophyte who has received the Harinam initiation from the spiritual master and is trying to chant the holy name of Krishna. One should respect such a person within his mind as a Kanishta Vaishnava. So when you're talking about, when not you, when Lord Chaitanya says chant only once, Srila Prabhupada then clarifies that it has to be done with faith and reverence, faith and love, or faith and reverence. So that is not, and he says it is not for general people. Someone who chants like that, then he's a Madhyam Adhikari. So one should be able to
Sorry,
distinguish.
what did you say? Someone who chants like that is what?
Once he has chanted with faith, he is a Madhyam Adhikari. Because Chaitanya Charitamrita talks about one cannot commit, all his offenses are gone. Oh no, all his sins are gone, not offenses.
So all of us in this group are Madhyama Adhikaris, right?
I don't know, bro. I am not, at least you maybe. And so once with faith and reverence of faith and love one chants, then all the past sins are all gone, and one cannot even commit any future sins, because the holy name is so powerful. That Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the pastime, I forget which pastime, this is explained. But the problem is the offenses are still there because of the identification with the body. So that the pure devotee teaches us how to remove those offenses gradually, and then one improves more and more, more and more, more and more. So now let me go to this back.
Can we finish? Can we finish that part?
Nectar of Instruction. It is,
Yeah.
It's very big. You
We'll
can.
just continue, please, if you don't mind.
A Madhyam Adhikari has received spiritual initiation from the spiritual master and has been fully engaged by him in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The Madhyama Adhikari should be considered to be situated midway in devotional service. The Uttama Adhikari, or highest devotee, is one who is very advanced in devotional service. An Uttama Adhikari is not interested in blaspheming others. His heart is completely clean, and he has attained the realized state of unalloyed Krishna consciousness. According to Srila Rupa Goswami, the association and service of such a Mahabhagavat or perfect Vaishnava are most desirable. So this is what people at home, they are doing, who are not coming in touch because they are associating with the Mahabhagavad, Srila Prabhupada, directly, and chanting holy name, the two most powerful processes and regulative principles. And because there are so many neophytes, so he is keeping them away, for this reason. We have to become Madhyama, real good Madhyama devotees. Then Srila Prabhupada will send more and more devotees to the association.
But what we're saying is Prabhupada is what we're saying, right? Clearly. Prabhupada prefers to keep devotees alone.
No, not prefers. Prefers is he made ISKCON, no? So as association of devotees. But doesn't
I
want
know that I know.
association.
This is coming up to my question. So but right now what we're stating, what you're saying, is that seemingly Prabhupada prefers to keep devotees
Not prefers,
away
no
alone
preference.
rather than associate with what's available right now.
Why would he? He's saying directly, you shouldn't associate.
I'm
Why
just saying, right?
He's not saying, I don't put words in anybody's mouth. No, nobody is saying Srila Prabhupada prefers that, because he prefers what
By
he.
what we just said, we state that,
No,
Prabhuji.
he's not preferring that. He is doing like that according to this the reality. That where are the madhyams? See,
You just
those
said
neophytes-
all the people in this group are Madhyams.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Prabhu, Madhyam means also, see, Madhyam plus the framework has to be there, no? Then we are really being Madhyam. Otherwise, we are not ourselves able to remove the offenses, and under the influence of beliefs is not being able to be removed because we are not properly following Srila Prabhupada's instructions of giving association. So
Prabhuji, the
discuss it
framework has to
later.
be there and then we can become
We can
Madhyams.
discuss.
You
Yes.
just said this man was
Yes.
following 25 years by himself. So what are we talking about when we say framework? Framework is in almost every single page of Prabhupada's books, definitely in every
So
book.
I'm saying that Srila Prabhupada, devotees are directly associating with the Mahabhagavat, which is being prescribed here. They're associated. This is the highest association.
Yeah.
Now, it is also beneficial if they associate with other madhyams to make it faster and make it more easy and make it sure and helpful to so many others also in a combined manner. But it is not helpful for those to associate with Kanishta Adhikaris or even lower. Any new sincere person.
Of course, a new person is beneficial for them to associate with new people that know more than them, have realized a little bit more than them. You know, I'm sure that the Kanishta Adhikari is such a huge spectrum.
Of course, huge spectrum, but Srila Prabhupada, for some reason, he's not sending those devotees to ISKCON, no? To us also.
He's not sending it to us also. So that's my point.
That's
So
what I'm
we
saying.
should.
That's exactly what I'm saying, that he's not sending it to anybody. He's just telling, I will give you association.
But you know, I'm not sure. Sorry, I take those words back. Because I'm not saying that Prabhupada is not sending. Yeah. Sorry, I just want to take that back.
Millions and millions of books are there. They are not importantly lying there, no? It's like sitting there idly in bookshelves or in this thing. Why would he want to do that? Books, philosophy, and practically, I have seen directly. I've seen so many people coming up with these books on their own, little to more, gradually. Krishna and him together, they are working on.
But there's also the possibility that they're not being sent to you or to any other sincere groups or followers of Prabhupada because they're not ready. They don't want to surrender like that.
Both ways, it could be both ways. But I more think it's the other thing, we are not ready because mostly people when they're reading Srila Prabhupada books, they want to associate, like it's natural. Or when they come to
We
association,
should have a list of people waiting to find other people. I'm looking for devotees all over
why
the
do we
place
have to
trying to find
control
that.
this process? Why do we have to control this? We have, we just surrender to Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya's design, no? That they know best. We do our duty to do what was asked of us, And in time, automatically, then it is their plan. No? Why we have to control all these people?
What are you talking about?
We need to have a list. Why we? They have the list.
Who?
The lordships, the acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, they are all part of this whole movement. No?
Uh,
They are running the movement, no, not us.
but we already know, baby, easy, simple, that Prabhupada Krishna wants every single type, whatever kind of devotee, to associate with other devotees. That's central. That's the most important factor. Never ever he wants devotees to stay alone. That's like the worst decision, but okay, if they're choosing or feeling to do. So we already know that. So of course we would work in cooperation with Prabhupada to try to facilitate, attract, and bring people to come together. We haven't been very successful in the West with that for some reason or another, but definitely there are reasons.
Prabhu, the science is that he's not going to send people to associate with more Kanishta and bring their sincerity down. You should just mentally honor and should respect her within his mind and keep, look, that's right here. Where does he say that?
Okay, good. Let's take that. So in Prabhupada's time, when people came and they came to join, oh, no, don't come to the temple. Don't stay with us. Go and stay by yourself. I see you're very sincere. Here we have a lot of kanishtas that are like this. They will bring you down. So don't come here.
No, Srila Prabhupada was making them sincere by overall sincerity of him and his devotees. He's
He
saying
wasn't around to see everyone and meet everyone. So it was the books, it was the temples,
no,
it
no.
was Prabhupada in
He
his
was
book
around,
form.
no? He
Same
was
now.
sending it through the leaders, through the mini leaders, to the general devotees by giving classes and association. He was giving that
And the
purity.
same is there with us now, with you, with
It's
me,
not
and
there.
these.
No, we are not
Huh?
able. It can be there potentially by taking proper shelter, properly keeping him see.
You're not taking proper shelter?
No. Prabhu,
So that's why people are not coming there, you're saying?
plus framework. Framework is very important.
But framework will come after devotees come, no?
Few devotees
Naturally.
would come, but then Srila Prabhupada will think whenever is the right time, then he would send more and more. So,
So just to take that back from everyone, Nimai Pandit Prabhu for me is very, very sincere. Probably the most sincere person, one of the most that I know. But I'm just asking these questions because they're just practical questions in what happened in Prabhupada's time. And this is the biggest thing we're facing. Devotees are not coming together. There's not any.
we are not the spiritual masters. Srila Prabhupada is. So he preaches how, through us, how we have to be conscious of Srila Prabhupada. Then we are acting as his instrument, meaning he appears through us. There is a nice verse where Srila Prabhupada describes this. This whole purport is there where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is expanding himself in the consciousness of devotees, and we can read that. And Srila Prabhupada has to come in our consciousness all the time. When he is in our consciousness, then he is preaching. When people come to us, they will be getting some consciousness or some of direct interaction with Srila Prabhupada through us. But it's not us. It's he is coming in our consciousness. Let us read that. Let me bring that up to you. Where is it? Okay, this is
Sorry, I don't know if you asked me anything. I had to deal with something.
I am bringing up that whole pastime. So this is from Adi Leela 1056-60. Let me bring that up. So your point was that why not now, like how Srila Prabhupada's time, and also how can we give association and all these things. So 10:56.
This whole talk about, because what we seem to be saying, what you seem to be presented is we need a framework, and then things will come together.
Well,
But this,
just that our consciousness is important, and I'm coming to this point of this consciousness here. These two things are required: our consciousness and framework together to really make a difference. To for Srila Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to feel we are good association for sending the devotees. So here, this is the verse from Adi Leela 10th chapter, 56th verse, and before and after. Okay, after is the one. Bhakti kripa karena prabhu itina swarupe sakshad avesha ar avirbhav rupe. Three rupa Lord Chaitanya is taking. Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bestows his causeless mercy upon his devotees in three features: his own direct appearance, sakshat; his prowess within someone he empowers, avesha; and his manifestation, avirbhav. Purport: the sakshat feature of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is his personal presence. So Srila Prabhupada also directly. Avesha refers to invested power, like that invested in Nakula Brahmachari, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's power invested in Srila Prabhupada for preaching purposes. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually preaching. That's why Srila Prabhupada is considered as good as God in that aspect. Now, there is another feature called Avirbhav, is a manifestation of the Lord that appears even though he is personally not present. So this is that same where Lord Krishna never went away from Vrindavan, even though he was in Mathura, and he went to Mathura and then to Dwarka. Why didn't go to Vrindavan, go away from Vrindavan? Srila Prabhupada Krishna book explains that he was present in the Bhava feature. You remember that pastime? That chapter in Krishna book talks about that. So that bhava feature, no, the consciousness, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears. So for example, Sri Sachi Mata offered food at home to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although he was far away in Jagannath Puri. And when she opened her eyes after offering the food, she saw that it had actually been eaten by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Similarly, when Srivas Thakur performed Sankirtan, everyone felt the presence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even in his absence. This is another example of Avirbhav. Like you can meet devotees, Srila Prabhupada disciples, some of them, when you go in their presence, you feel Srila Prabhupada's present somewhere around here. You know that, no? You have met devotees like that, right? So that is what is required for when when Krishna sends devotees to us and we give association. I mean, we can only do a little things, but what he wants is this, that we give Prabhupada association. Like Prabhupada, when they come to us, they actually get association with Prabhupada because he is present in our consciousness, Krishna consciousness. So that is the feature, that is what he wants from us. And that I see in many devotees in the 60s and 70s when I talk to them and I hear them, in their consciousness. That's what was present in many devotees. By his direct presence, personally present also, plus the surrender, maybe some kripa, I don't know, somewhere or other, I don't know how the mechanics was working fully, but somehow or the other it was present in many people's consciousness. And that's how Srila Prabhupada was preaching directly in that sense through his this feature, Avirbhav feature. So the appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in every devotee's presence is called Saksha. His appearance in Nakula Brahmachari as a symptom of special prowess is an example of Avesha. The former Pradyumna given the name Narsimha Brahmananda. In his body, there were symptoms of avirbhav. Such appearances are uncommon, but Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed many such pastimes. So about the avesha.
So on this topic, can I ask you, because there are many, many, many examples where Srila Prabhupada basically spontaneously, seemingly to us, just, okay, train stopped here, you get out here, go open the temple. You go to England, open the temple. You do this, you do this, you do that. And as far as like what they went and you know, they didn't have rocket science of understanding of management or GBC. None of this existed. It's just simple. They just went there, preached on behalf of Prabhupada. If there were books in that language, distributed books. Devotees joined. And when devotees joined, they followed the same program that Prabhupada taught them, or they followed when they joined the temple. And then it just rolled, let's say, we're saying it just rolled like that, but of course we don't know that above that are two hands of Prabhupada and Krishna. So what's the difficulty now? Why it seems like we're starting to make it really complicated, that you need a structure and a framework and this, where at our stage, the Prabhupada Nugas around the world, it's quite a simple thing to do. It's like, okay, just go ahead and be a devotee and preach and open a center, get a flat, blah, 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 blah.
Why is it not happening then?
Good question.
So that's why we
In,
talk
in,
about,
in my opinion, because the Prabhupada Nugas are all fighting each other.
no, but maybe you have, but why are they fighting? They are
Good
sincere, no?
good
So
question. That's a good question.
I've never seen a Prabhupada Nuga not sincere. I mean, I'm most like 99% I've seen they are sincerely trying to figure out. Otherwise, they would have gone with the flow, no? So that's what I've been trying to figure out 25 years, Prabhu, to more than 25 years. So this is what my understanding. This is why I've tried to keep diving deeper and deeper. And I am not able to work many times. So my personal experience, I'm seeing my heart and I'm understanding, oh, this is the problem and that is the problem and this is the problem. And trying to fix those things. So trying to understand with Srila Prabhupada what I should improve on, what should be happening, and then having discussion with devotee. And then so all these things I'm coming to these kind of whatever I'm speaking, it may be untrue completely, it may be 20% untrue, maybe 50% untrue, maybe 5% untrue. I don't know. But I see that there are actually a lot of truths also. And a few, maybe different devotees have more experiences, they can explain more. Anyone else wants to say, add?
I can just add one of the biggest things I see, if it's something that's preventing us from coming together and cooperate and work together, is because Prabhupada is my guru and Prabhupada is not physically here. So I can do and rule as I wish. And then to surrender any aspect of that rule and do what I want as I see, whatever, my way in this situation, blah, blah, blah. I don't want anybody else to come and like supersede me with any authority or even to come on the same level as me and correct this or correct that or give some other idea. So it's like they're happy to be self-ruling, whereas ISKCON we see there's many this, that, or the other, but they're all governed by some kind of higher authority, whatever the way it works there. So to me, that's the biggest factor I've seen that comes into play with devotees unable, is that they're just used to having Prabhupada as their authority and no one else, and who are you to tell me this or that? Mood kind of thing.
So see, all kinds of Kali Yuga means it's a age of disagreement, Kala. And if we are influenced by Kali, that means we are not protected by Srila Prabhupada and Acharyas. See, I came
Or
to
it
the
doesn't have to be so black and white. Why you can't be protected
why
and
not?
being purified, but at the same time you
Why?
have.
No. Prabhu, once you surrender, Srila Prabhupada explains very, very, very so clearly, then you are away from this influence. You can't be under the influence.
Of
Maybe
course you can.
very,
Come on.
But that
I
means
can tell you
that
in
means
you, every day you're influenced by some material thing, but at the
exactly
same
what.
time, you're being protected and guided.
But protection means I cannot be, no. Of course, that means I'm not fully
No,
surrendered.
because reciprocating with desire, every second, every minute is our desire. What's our desire?
But that means I'm still being influenced, no?
Of
Then
course.
so
That's the problem.
exactly, no. So not fully surrendering, no. So to the extent
Yes.
I'm surrendering, I'm protected. I won't be
Exactly.
influenced. So similarly, in this instance too, if there is a problem with organizational issues, that means I am not surrendering to Srila Prabhupada's instructions of organization. Hence, Kali's influence is there on me. And because of which I'll not be able to associate with people in the, I will find all exactly the same consciousness, I am better, instead of thinking I am the servant. So it's like that, no? To that much extent we would be masters, thinking as master. So that's why I understood that, and then that's why from my consciousness and other devotees consciousness, and I think for my protection I need to be under Srila Prabhupada's given organization directives, and that holding on to them protects me. It does to everybody when we are going under and we hold on to Srila Prabhupada's instructions, then we see protection. You know, we can get remove the influences. So similarly in this instance also, that's why I've been working on this whole ISKCON Inc. Lawsuit for so long, so that we have that organization and the organization structure which Srila Prabhupada set up, and then intelligently apply it with devotees together coming and applying it together.
Why we need ISKCON Inc? Why don't you just set up the structure? What's that, a name? We're fighting for a
As
name?
soon as you say you set up, that means I failed, no? Immediately. It is not Srila Prabhupada's, no? So if
Why you say that?
Srila Prabhupada set up this, and anything else anybody else set up, it will be they setting it up.
Of course not.
How
Why?
uh, every
You know,
that, no? That's where
e-
everyone
every group I've seen has opened up some kind of name, Bliss or this or that, or Bangalore, ISKCON Bangalore, blah, blah, and they base it on Prabhupada, study Prabhupada. They're trying to do it as best as they can in their situation, as Prabhupada wanted it structured.
International
It's not
Society for Krishna
that difficult, you
Consciousness.
know?
It's an international society for Krishna consciousness, international. And there is a zonal division. It's very clear in 1970.
Okay, so then you start with national then, not international.
Fine, that's no problem. One does national, but still, then when that national wants to associate with another national, they will have problems.
Why?
Just like what you just said earlier about one devotee group not able to work together with another devotee group. That's
Yeah, but
exactly.
that's got nothing to do with what we're talking about right now. That's on a personal level, on some kind of ego trip, which they will work on. You know, I could even see Prabhupada say, okay, no problem. He doesn't want to cooperate that one. Okay, just go ahead. Just continue distributing my books, make devotees, blah, blah, blah. He will bless them with that. He know the process and the service will purify
But
them in
if
time.
Srila Prabhupada's instruction is there for the international, that means then both understand, okay, Srila Prabhupada instructed us to do that. We are part of his movement, not independent. Then there is a framework given by Srila Prabhupada how to associate, how to interact, everything.
Mhm.
And the ego comes down because, and then Kali's influence evaporates also. All the factors together contribute to be able to have a much more conducive environment to cooperate. Of course, then we have to go through the process one by one, how this will happen, that will happen. But that is in that environment, it can happen. No? Consciousness, Prabhupada's instructions, Kali's influence, all these things together. So the international movement is not there. Individually, devotees are preaching wonderful. International movement is not there. Then what happens is they're not able to associate. Then the older, like the senior devotee, the leader, they also don't have association because they are giving association, they are not taking association most of the time with equal and higher devotees. So their impurities many times are not pointed out or corrected, or they themselves are not able to figure it out. And so generally it remains stunted unless, like Madhubani Prabhu was saying, you see, I'm just mentioning, even though it is private, I would never say anything which he told me privately, but I think he will forgive me for this because it glorifies the holy name. Because he told me that how holy name is so powerful that even though I don't have the association of equal and senior devotees, still it is keeping me intact. Because holy name can do that too. It is not dependent. So it can remove the, holy name can remove all the influences. So that is another way too, but it's really difficult. And that is to be said whether it has really removed all the influences with anyone. So everyone, I mean, Srila Prabhupada's instructions are there for some purpose to protect all of us, and so that we can take his position in a sense of taking different representative aspects of his being a Diksha Guru. That's a huge responsibility and very contaminating to be a representative in that capacity, different aspects of Diksha Guru on his behalf. So we have to be under a protection of his instructions, no, to be able to do that. So let's finish here, huh? And I have to go, but let's continue. It was very good discussion. I really live for this kind of discussions because this is the whole reason why we are what we are doing. And continue next week with on the same topic, but we will read many different places Srila Prabhupada, and he himself is explaining why even though holy name is sufficient, we need Pancharatrika Vidhi and deity worship and all these things. And we talk about do everybody has to do deity worship, or how does that function? So Srila Prabhupada answers so many things, so many ways he has been answering these questions, and he's giving a clear blueprint on how we should proceed. Okay, so we'll read from many other places where he's addressing similar concerns, and then we'll keep discussing. This is very, very important point, as you can see here. It covers, like, encompasses so many topics in our day-to-day lives. Okay, all right, devotees.
Vanchakāpatrubhyascha kripasindhubheva cha patitanam pāvanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Prabhupada ki jai.
Krishna.
Jai.
Hare Krishna, Sarita Mataji.
If you want to say something, you're muted. Sarita Mataji, you can unmute yourself.